Right now at Dhafra Air Base in the United Arab Emirates, an F-15E Strike Eagle is receiving fuel while its engines are still running. The pilot has not left the cockpit. Weapons specialists are bolting guided bombs onto the wings. 12 minutes from now, the same aircraft will be airborne again, carrying a fresh load of ordnance toward a target grid 200 miles inside contested airspace. This is called hot pit refueling. Yes, it sounds like something from Formula 1, because at this point, air combat logistics basically is motorsport. But when you are the platform tasked with delivering sustained mass fires in a high-tempo operation, you do not have the luxury of shutting down and waiting 45 minutes for a standard turnaround. You have 12 minutes. And that 12-minute cycle is the reason the F-15 still exists. They ask which jet is better, the F-35 or the F-15. That question is like asking whether a sniper rifle is better than a machine gun. They are not. The F-35 solves the access problem. It penetrates defended airspace, finds targets, and designates them for someone else to kill. The F-15 solves the volume problem. It carries the weight, delivers sustained fires, and does it repeatedly without breaking the logistics chain. This is about system architecture. The system only works when every piece understands its role. Stealth costs volume. The F-35 carries its weapons internally to maintain its radar cross-section. Internal carriage means limited payload. It can carry a maximum of 5,700 pounds of ordnance, 2 GBU-31 JDAMs, and 2 AMRAAM air-to-air missiles. That is the loadout. Standard turnaround time is 45 minutes minimum. You can generate maybe 2 sorties per aircraft per day before maintenance and crew rest become limiting factors. 2 sorties means 2 weapons loads. That's not a design flaw. That's a design choice with consequences. 11,400 pounds of total ordnance delivered per airframe over 24 hours. The F-15E carries 23,000 pounds. Externally, across 12 hardpoints. Someone else already cleared the door. The F-15 walks through it carrying the sledgehammer. It's not elegant, it's not subtle, it's just very effective. 12 GBU-38 JDAMs, 6 AIM-120 AMRAAMs, 2 AIM-9X sidewinders, external fuel tanks, and a targeting pod. Everything visible, everything available, everything optimized for sustained delivery. And because it uses hot pit refueling, it can turn around in 12 minutes instead of 45. That enables 4 sorties per day instead of 2. 8 times the volume of the stealth platform. They see the payload chart and declare the F-15 superior, but they're missing the rest of the system. The F-15 doesn't find its own targets in contested airspace. It relies on off-board sensors, specifically the E-2D Advanced Hawkeye and the F-35 operating forward. The E-2D sits 200 miles offshore, radar scanning 300 miles in every direction, tracking every airborne contact, every surface-to-air missile battery, every communication node. It builds the common operating picture. The F-35 penetrates closer, using its low observable profile to map the threat locations without triggering engagement. It designates targets, uploads the coordinates to the network, and the F-15 receives that data through Link 16 while still climbing out from the tanker track. But there is another piece people overlook. Electronic warfare. The EA-18G Growler. This is the platform that makes the entire kill chain survivable. The Growler carries the ALQ-249 next-generation jammer. This is not a noise barrage system. This is a digital directed energy weapon. It identifies the specific frequencies used by enemy fire control radars, isolates those frequencies, and floods them with false targets and coherent jamming. The enemy radar operator sees his scope filled with phantom contacts, and he cannot generate a firing solution. His surface-to-air missiles stay on the rails because he has no lock. Meanwhile, the F-15 is already past his engagement envelope, releasing weapons on targets that were designated by the F-35 20 minutes earlier. Here is the engineering problem nobody wants to talk about. Stealth aircraft require stealth tankers, or they compromise their signature every time they refuel. The KC-46 Pegasus is not a stealth tanker. It is a Boeing 767 with a refueling boom, radar cross-section comparable to a commercial airliner. Every time an F-35 plugs into that tanker, it is visible. The tanker is visible. The entire refueling track is visible. That means tankers have to operate outside the threat envelope, and that means shorter loiter time for the stealth fighters, and that means fewer targets prosecuted per sortie. The F-15 does not have this problem. It already has a large radar signature. It does not lose anything by refueling from a conventional tanker, so it can top off closer to the fight, stay on station longer, and deliver more weapons per flight hour. Engines stay running, fuel hose connects. Weapons load, pilot gets a mission update through the data link. 12 minutes later, airborne again. The logistics tempo matches the operational tempo. That is the breakthrough. Not the airframe, not the engines, not the weapons. The refueling cycle. Sustained operations are not limited by how fast your jet is. They are limited by how fast you can get it back in the fight. An F-35A costs $78 million per airframe. Flight hour cost is $36,000. An F-15EX costs $87 million, but flight hour cost is $29,000. Over a 20-year service life, at 200 flight hours per year, the F-15 is cheaper to operate by $2.8 million per aircraft. $67 million saved. But the real cost is opportunity cost. If your stealth platform is spending 30% of its flight time tanking and another 20% transiting to and from the tanker, it is only prosecuting targets 50% of the time. The F-15 prosecutes targets 70% of the time because it refuels forward. More weapons on target per dollar spent. The weapon is not the aircraft. The weapon is the network. The E-2D sees, the F-35 designates, the Growler blinds, the tanker sustains, and the F-15 delivers. Remove any piece and the system collapses. Send only F-35s, and you run out of magazine capacity before the target set is complete. Send only F-15s without the Growler, and they get shot down before reaching the release point. Send everything, but forget the tanker, and nobody stays airborne long enough to matter. This is combined arms warfare extended into 3 dimensions. And the F-15 is still in the inventory because no single platform can replace what it does when integrated into the larger system. They want one jet that does everything. Every engineer hears that sentence right before something goes very wrong. But physics does not care what you want. Stealth costs payload. Payload costs signature. Range costs speed. Speed costs loiter time. Every design is a compromise. The F-15 compromised stealth for capacity. That compromise only works when someone else solves the stealth problem first, which is exactly what the F-35 does. They are not competitors, they are complementary systems. And the mission planners who actually build these strike packages stopped arguing about it years ago. If this changed how you think about modern air power, hit subscribe. We break down the engineering and doctrine that actually determines outcomes, not the marketing material that sells budget requests.